People sometimes ask me, where is the outback? But to me, it's not where is the outback, but what is the outback? It's anywhere that challenges you, mentally or physically, because of its remoteness. But it's not all about the challenges. You come to a campsite like this, and the outback does nothing but reward you. It's absolutely magnificent at every time of the day. This week, the Websters will be towing the Exodus from Complete Campsite behind their family Ranger.
Alright, so we've got the Complete Campsite Exodus 11 for this episode. So having the first of the two hybrids for us, it's pretty good. It's something we're used to towing in a little hybrid kind of thing. So yeah,
much like ours, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty good to see how this thing goes.
Mel and Trent love this country, and it is good to see the kids learning on the road, even if the source of that learning is a little suspect.
So Macca, can you please give my children a history lesson on Burke and Wills and what they did for this country?
Well, in all honesty, Burke and Wills were a pair of clowns.
They didn't listen to anyone, they were arrogant, they were ignorant.
And they didn't accept the help of people who knew how to survive out here, and they died.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Repeat it. Thanks for the history test.
Following the Websters in the mighty tundra is Scotty from BRS, towing his home away from home, The Pursuit. This whole setup is well suited for this adventure because we are heading to the home of Mad Max in Silverton this week, and I reckon this rig will fit in well. Bringing up the rear is my good mate Celso from Mars. I'm a little worried about Celso. I think the long outback roads are getting to him just a little bit. Goodness me, we better get back on with the show before we lose Celso.
Well, back into it again, guys. What's everyone looking forward to?
Mate, I'm looking forward to dropping into Menindee Lakes. It should be a top spot to have a look at by the sounds of it.
Keen to get out and check out the Mad Max Museum, bit of Fury Road.
Kid you not, like I think I watched Mad Max at least 10 times each one of them, you know, and the last one I went to the cinema with the missus and she was like, really, what's so good about it? It's just a good post-apocalyptic disaster movie. Like,
And mate, who doesn't love a bit of Mel Gibson? Come on.
Seems the oracle spoke, and it makes me want to actually confess that I'm potentially the only person in this convoy who hasn't seen Mad Max.
You haven't what?
Let's change to Channel 35 and get rid of him.
After taking the mickey out of Trent for a few more minutes for his lack of patriotism, well, probably more like about half an hour, we started to see a big change in our surroundings as we approached the Menindee Lakes. It's a pretty stunning part of the outback, and you'd think that with the Darling River running low, you wouldn't see any water out here, but that's not the case today.
Hey, this is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to see this out here. Talk about a piece of infrastructure.
Not wrong, mate. This is not what we were expecting to see. A little spillway in the middle of nowhere.
it is nice. I wonder if I would have better chance of catching fish right here just before the big step. If that was allowed, of course.
Good old Celso, always thinking about his next meal, and why wouldn't you when you know you're going to find a campsite next to this?
Oh wow, kids, have a look at that.
Whoa.
That is
pretty cool.
absolutely massive. That is ridiculous.
Tell you what, Maka, it's not every day you see something like that. You know, I don't think. You can expect that.
This is a truly remarkable place. This is Pamamaroo Lake, and it's one of the most popular free camping areas. It's easy to see why. This place is truly spectacular, but it's not just a pretty place to camp. This area is rich in Australian history.
All right, so before we zip down there and play in the water and have a bit of a find a spot to camp, from what I believe, just down here is a good little piece of Australian history. It's actually the tree where Burke and Wills set up their base camp.
That's fantastic, mate. This is things like this are the exact reason we do what we do with the kids, mate, to get to see history.
Here on Pamamaroo Creek is the site of the base camp of the 1860 Burke and Wills expedition, a little patch of paradise before their fateful journey began. There's a number of great campsites along the side of Lake Pamamaroo, a lot of which can be accessed off the main road. However, if you want to get away from the crowds, you can lock in four-wheel drive and find yourself your own little piece of paradise. Seriously, this has to be one of the best camps I've ever stayed in, and it's not hard to see why this place is very popular at peak times. Trent single-handedly sorted out the setting up of the Exodus, Scotty's pegged out the awning on the BRS, then got into fire duty, and the rest of us are kicking back to watch a pretty amazing sunset. This is what the camper trailer lifestyle is all about. Some moments when you travel stick in your mind more than others, forming a memory that will stay with you for a long time. And I'll tell you what, that night around the fire at Lake Pamamaroo is one of those for me. But as is always the case, it is time for us to move along and continue our adventure. That is, once we get out of camp. And this could be interesting. Today, the plan is to head to Broken Hill for a little restock, then push through to Silverton to visit the Mad Max Museum. But before you leave this lake region, here's a tip. Make sure you take the time to check out Lake Menindee itself. It may not have that much water in it, but you might be lucky enough to see something special like this. Yep, that's one big mob of emus. What a sight. It is not every day you get to see this. The recent rain here has made this lake an absolute haven for wildlife. It's just over 140 k's from Menindee to Silverton, and you pass through the outback hub of Broken Hill, which gives you a chance to restock and refuel before heading to Silverton.
Now, pretty cool little town coming up here, Silverton. We'll stop and have an explore because you've got a bit of history there to look at. You've got the Mad Max Museum, and there's a pretty cool country pub as well. What do you reckon, which order?
Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one, mate. As long as the pub is included, then I'm probably not going to complain too greatly.
Go check out the old Mad Max Museum. Hopefully they got the old Falcon in there still.
Come on guys, that's gonna be nice. Gotta check out the old Mad Max Museum. You know, maybe there is some pictures of Sprott there.
But I'm getting the feeling that you may be a Mad Max mad fan.
I do like the old Road Warrior, you know, it's cool, man. Like lone wolf, you know, tackling bad guys. Yeah, it was good.
Hey, you see a little bit of yourself in him, don't you?
The Mad Max Museum is absolutely stunning, and you don't have to be a Mad Max fan to appreciate the hard work and dedication that's gone into creating this place. Owner Adrian first watched the movies when he was 18, and just like Celso, he was in awe and became an instant fan. However, I reckon this bloke took it to a whole new level, convincing his wife and kids to swap their cosy English lives for an adventure in the outback of Australia. Once settled, Adrian set about the mission of building his museum. It's truly a labour of love, and one that has been supported by not just fans, but many of the locals as well, who've contributed photos, costumes, props, and even vehicles from the films for the collection. This is an absolute must-see destination in my opinion. If you want to find out more about this great museum, check out our website from the interview with owner Adrian. Our plan today was to keep heading west out to a favourite spot of mine called Eldie Station. Now, there are a number of great farm stays in the outback, and Eldie is one of the best. Owners Stephen and Naomi love to welcome travellers to their property all year round. I've been out here before for their Easter event, and it is an absolute cracker. The property has plenty of camping options and is a great spot to give these campers a real off-road test. So after having a quick chat with Stephen and Naomi, we're off. Now, the track we've chosen to take runs down a dry creek bed, which means soft sand and rocks. Later in the show, we test the trails on a rocky bit of creek bed before finding an epic campsite and settling in for a true blue outback sunset. We're exploring the stunning Eldey Station just out of Broken Hill in the New South Wales outback, and we're on our way to find a good camp. But to get there, we have to do a little bit of low-range driving. I'm through easy, but now it's time for Trent, Mel and the kids with the Exodus. Both Trent and Mel have been driving trailers off-road now for a few years, so this soft stuff won't worry them at all. Next up is Scotty in the big Tundra. Listen to that supercharger whistle. And here comes Celso. The Prado is definitely the least powerful vehicle in the convoy, but the Spirit isn't a heavy camper and it's built for this kind of stuff. This is good driving. I wonder how the Websters are going with the Exodus.
Glad we've got a skinny trailer on for this one.
Ready?
Righto, so we're going to have to get around the big boulder, around the other big boulder, past that boulder, and don't hit that boulder. Check.
These rocks are pretty tricky and you need to pay attention. It's good to see how each of these trailers are handling the terrain. This is why you spend your money on a trailer that can go off-road.
This is one mighty rocky little section here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it through safe and sound.
How about this campsite? What a top spot. Now normally we wouldn't advise to set up in a dry creek bed. They can actually be quite dangerous. We've spoken to the owners and they know the creek takes a whole lot of water to fill up and there isn't a cloud in sight. So this is home for us tonight. The Outback truly is a beautiful place. It's dry, it's dusty, and it can be very hot. But that's all part of the Outback adventure, isn't it? And I'll tell you what else is a part of an Outback adventure. A true Outback sunset, and Eldey does that in style. Just a short drive from camp is a spot that you will remember for a long, long time. And don't forget to bring the beers and the bickies.
Top of the world, so to speak. Cold drink, cheese and bickies, good friends, and a view that you will never find anywhere but right here. And the only thing stopping you from being here is you. So get out of here.
Next week on the show, our little crew heads north towards the beautiful corner country, and we get a whole lot more than we expected. If you've ever wanted to tick Cameron Corner off your bucket list, make sure you come and join us next week on Camper Trailer Lifestyle.